it's like this. Anytime there is death, which Scorpio reminds us of the death of things in the cycle of nature, right? In the northern hemisphere, the leaves have fallen by now. And and then in the springtime, Taurus season, you have all the new growth. You have the smell of the thawed earth, right? And things become green in that beautiful emerald green. And in those transition points, we're really aware of how they are inseparable from one another, right? Because nature does not continue to, create the void space, nor does it continue to keep growing and growing and growing. There is a natural cycle to things. And I think that that's why this season is really equated to trust, I think. And, I've spoken to this recently in the Scorpio season, right? That with death, we know life will come. We don't see it, but we know it's coming, right? So why don't we just get into it? I've done the shuffle, and the energy that we're starting with, and that's basically initiating this reading, is the Five of Cups. And it's a really solemn card. And we're allowing ourselves to grieve something that can no longer be. And I feel this could be around a choice that was made, because anytime we make a choice, that other reality dies, right? It's no longer a possibility. When we actually act on a decision and choice, then we turn our back on another, or, we turn our back on another possibility. But this card is really speaking to the two cups behind the figure, right? And so in some ways, I think that this is a card that is urging one to not necessarily rush into the next thing. Really give yourself time to be in your grief, right? So the next card, the energy that's crossing that, it's such a high, what a contrast. The Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups, this is a happy married life. A happy couple, and look at these dancing happy children. You have a home, you have this fertile, this fertile, lush, land around you. There's a rainbow in this card. So when you look at these two cards together, right? I think sometimes, when we make a choice, like, we know what's better for us, right? And, when we allow ourselves to make the right choices, then we can have the ideal. On the other hand, I don't think it matters. I think that basically we're in a space of the unknown. Our choices, the consequences or the results of our choices haven't really presented itself yet. And I think that there's a hope that we've made the right choice. There's a hope that we've made the right choice. There's a hope that, that happiness will prevail. So definitely an idea is coming in. Some fire energy, some initiating fire energy is really present and is really driving us forward into action, right? To possibly, cut our losses, right? Very possible. Scorpio season is definitely a time of cutting away, right? I mean, literally when you're like clearing, your lawn, you're clearing around your house, you're clearing like all the overgrowth and the things that are like dead, this is really what that is, right? So this is a really, really strong fiery card that really supports what's in our mind, right? And this is a lot of action moving forward, right? This is fire energy. There's a lot of fire that we're feeling aligned with our mind and action. So that's great. That's really great. So I think that, again, this is not really, I think, far off. If we keep doing what we're supposed to do each and every day, then why can't this be ours, right? Okay, so the card that is directly, this is the energy that's passing. And again, I think this is the awareness of the cycles, right? Of the practicality that goes into the efforts that you are making every day, and moving into the cycle of abundance. But this is the energy of, I feel like it's really of starting out as well. It's like there's this opportunity to create new cycles of growth and abundance. And again, the things that we give death to are creating that space, right? So this is actually the energy that we're moving towards, which is great, because this is just straight up harvest and celebration, right? We're really moving into like the final harvest of the season. We're moving into Thanksgiving here in America, and really feeling a sense of gratitude for the abundance that we have enjoyed in this cycle. And this is great. Now this is interesting because we've gotten this card before a few times already, and I think that really we could be repeating this process in many areas of life, because once you put up a boundary in one aspect of your life, it's really reinforcing to create better boundaries in all areas of life. So I think that the swords, really depict these different aspects and facets, that there are these different dimensions of leaving behind an old way. Mm-hmm. And it's been a deconstruction process, and Mercury is in shadow and will be going retrograde, and it's just indicative of deconstruction and really sifting through mind stuff, right? This is great. I mean, the Lover's card. We had the Lover's card too recently, and this is beautiful because we have a Taurus full moon, right? Taurus full moon. This is all about sensual pleasure and beauty, and I think that this is really speaking to something that seemed impossible, that has become possible in ways where also some sort of dueling energy starts to actually get into such a deep place of union that it's indistinguishable. What the two started as is indistinguishable now as a new material, right? Like the male energy has become soft and receptive and sensitive as much as a woman, right? And the feminine is becoming really discerning and can move through with decisive forward momentum, like this kind of beautiful, deep weaving of opposites coming together where, can we get to this state where we can't even distinguish between difference. We see the divine workings underneath it all, right? And in that way, nothing is gendered, right? Everything is coming from divine source. So this is very possible as we deconstruct the things that are keeping us from this union. This can also, this is the cutting away of the skins of Scorpio, right? Like, we're in Scorpio season still. Okay, well, there are many layers here. There are many layers of skin that we are peeling back. This is interesting too, because we got this card last week, I think. Okay, so there are still some things that we could be. I don't think that the conflict is over. We could have been really maybe idealistic, right? Maybe really idealistic. Maybe going into fantasy. Oh no, right? Well, it's interesting because what our mind does and creates really becomes our reality, right? So moving into the divine aspect of the choices that we're making, right? We could actually also think to ourselves that choices are that black and white. But, there are no wrong answers, because everything is ultimately going to lead us to the path that where we need to be, where we will have the deepest growth. And so, so it might look for a while still that we are maintaining the status quo, but appearances can be deceiving, right? Or I should say that we might have to fake it until we make it. Fake it until we make it, right? Right. And understand that these aren't delusions. These are actually things that we want to bring into our life. Abundance and union and peace and harmony. Yeah. So that's what I got for you today, for this week, for this full moon. I think a lot, I don't know, it's a really a feeling of the unknown, I think, in this energy. And I don't think it's bad. I think that as long as we're able to detach from fear and recognize that truth is the end game, then we can move through fear. Because I think that there are a lot of programs at play. And so this was also the other thing too. Like, I think that there are a lot of programs at play that want to hijack your attention, right? But stay focused on what your desires are, what you're trying to bring in, right? Versus what other people want, right? What other people want you to form allegiances around, right? Yeah, no. So there's something interesting in this reading, and I think that there is definitely passion here, right? There's passion to move forward in our endeavors. right? We should let ourselves grieve whatever choices we have made and what things we're leaving behind, but know that there's hope still. And yeah, you might have to keep choosing, you know? You might have to keep choosing over and over again what you're leaving behind. And when you peel back one layer, you might see another layer that needs to be worked through and cut out and cut through. I think that's the energy. So if you want to stick around, I think that I will read to you. I'll read to you one of these cards from Rumi. Let's see. I have two cards. Blessing of Al-Hakim. Yeah, I think that this is probably the card. Although I also got the card. This is going to be a really long reading if I read both of them, but Al-Uzza, Star of Venus. And I think actually this is probably the card I should read. Al-Uzza, Star of Venus. I am the pure light, my son. I am not a handful of worthless dust. I am not just an empty shell. I am a regal pearl formed in this world. Close your eyes to see and become aware of me. Perceive me with eyes that see the unseen. Come into the mystery to find me. I am a carefree visitor here for you. My beautiful one, born of pure radiance, you have love in your heart and a passion for play that cannot be dulled by bleakness, boredom, or fear. Your soul is sensual and dances with life with utter abandonment and devotion. Though the way of this world seems strange to you at times, you eventually declare it to be nothing but strange beauty, and expand your heart, resisting nothing, to allow all to be bathed in the radiance of your being. You are here to share the light of another world, a blessed world of consciousness pure and divinity so absolute that it transcends duality and instead brings all into the oneness of the greatest love. The star of Venus is the greatest androgyne, neither solely masculine nor feminine, but an integration of both. The power it bestows is mighty and based utterly in love. When this star seeks us out, multiple blessings are bestowed, and our spiritual growth can be accelerated in ways that may be quite dazzling and surprising to our more limited mindset and belief systems. With great blessings, great growth is possible. However, the blessings don't do the growth for us, making it magically happen. They give us the oomph we need, the power and the opportunities and assistance we need. Yet it is still we who take the journey. The great spiritual journey for old souls at this time in Earth's history is the journey from duality to oneness. Many are signing up for that wild, loving adventure. This oracle has come to you as a reminder that you too have been granted a ticket for that journey. This journey of oneness is not about denying duality, but about experiencing it as an expression of one love. It is about no longer being enslaved by it. It's about avoiding what is not wanted in order to pursue what is wanted. It is about embracing the all of finding the freedom and joy originally sought, but now through a path that takes you into joy and freedom existing within. To take the great transformation from man or woman into cosmic antigen does not require that we lose our sense of femininity or masculinity. Rather, they become so superior in development that they cease to be distinguished from each other. Our masculine clarity, with its discernment, practicality, and application, becomes so tender, loving, compassionate, and tempered with grace that the feminine is integrated with it. Our feminine nurturance, dedication, and connection to life become so fierce that discernment and wise action naturally prevail. With this great androgynous integration of the male and female into oneness, men and women of this beautiful earth become capable of a new consciousness. It is of one based in love, of service to life, of letting go of judgment, stereotypes, and limited belief systems, and of opening up to compassion for all life. As the consciousness is anchored, spiritual growth becomes rapid. This is not necessarily without some bumps and bruises. Letting go of old notions of what is to be a man or a woman, to be masculine or feminine, letting go of fear of women or men, of emasculation or victimization, letting go of woundings are all great steps forward. They promise liberation, empowerment, and compassion, as well as peace and happiness, yet they are not easy steps to take. Great resistance can be evoked within you as an individual, and also within the culture around you, which might find your notion of personal spiritual empowerment confronting and challenging to their culture of fear-based enslavement of the soul. And they'll be right about it being confronting, but mistaken in assuming that confrontation is something being best resisted. So then, what to do? Al-Uzza, the ancient shining one, also known as the Star of Venus, holds much power and strength. Even a small blessing of her light is more powerful than the fear of thousands, if not millions of people. She is known as a worthy ally in battle of any kind, even spiritual battle. You must, however, stay aligned with her way, which is not to fight fear with fear, hate with hate, or anger with anger. Does this mean you should not feel fear, hate, or anger? Of course not. Venus denies no experience, so let yourself feel whatever you feel. The guidance is to not stop being human. Take the next step into the divine human, into allowing the star blessing to nestle into your heart, so you can shift as you feel the feelings, holding them with compassion, then choosing your own truth that resonates at a far more refined vibration. The rebellious passion of the Star of Venus is that she seeks out whomever is ready to know more fully the truth of divine oneness. Whether the culture around them can acknowledge one of their own becoming more enlightened as a blessing or not, it is a divine gift nevertheless. How liberating it shall feel to be truly empowered to live life as you feel is truthful, and to feel completely empowered to allow others to do the same with joy in your heart. You understand that everyone is walking in an unfolding path, and that we don't have to understand or justify the path of another to feel peace in our own hearts. If you are stumbling with judgment within yourself, do not fear. The blessing of Venus is coming to you to help you surrender it, to help you find your way through so that you can be free now. Your guidance then is to trust your path, trust your evolution, even in the face of those around you reacting to it possibly in fear or discomfort. Trust in the paths of others too, for in truth there is one path and we are all on it. You do not have to convince anyone of anything. This is not your job. Your job is to embrace your wisdom, embrace your freedom and empowerment to grow spiritually and live your life accordingly. You are becoming, through bestowal of grace, something more of a goddess and a god, of a human and a sacred animal integrated as one. This is sacred alchemy, amplified in the star fires of Venus, who loves you as a brother, sister, and honors your soul with her blessing. Shine true, beloved. Shine bright.